All right, today we're diving into a tool that plays a really critical role in a lot of workplaces, the Serenity 7-panel drug test cup. We're going to break down what it is, how it works, and why it's become such a go-to for so many different organizations. So, if you're in a field like HR, maybe you run a clinic, or you work for a staffing agency, you already know the drill. You need drug testing that is fast, totally reliable, and of course, compliant. And finding one solution that ticks all those boxes without becoming a logistical nightmare, well, that's the constant challenge, isn't it? And that's exactly where a device like this comes in. The Serenity 7-panel drug test cup is really designed from the ground up to be that all-in-one solution. It aims to meet all those professional needs in one simple, easy-to-use package. Okay, so what actually makes this a professional-grade tool? Well, it really starts with these two big approvals. It's CLIA waived and it's FDA approved. What that means for you is that it meets some really strict federal standards, and it's cleared for immediate on-site use, what they call point of care. This gives it a baseline of quality and compliance that's just non-negotiable for any serious organization. So it's a 7-panel test, but what does that actually mean? What is it screening for? Let's take a closer look at the specific substances. Here it is, the core of the test. You can see it screens for 7 of the most common substances, everything from amphetamines to marijuana. Now, the key things to look at here are the cutoff level, which is how much of the substance needs to be present for a positive result, and the detection time. And that detection window can vary like crazy. I mean, look at THC. It can be detectable for up to 30 days, which is way longer than most of the others. This kind of data is absolutely essential to interpret the results accurately. You know, a test can be super comprehensive, but if it's complicated to use, it's just not practical. So the real question is, how simple is this one to actually administer? The answer, it is very fast. You get your results right there on site in just 5 to 10 minutes. When you're dealing with a high volume of tests, that kind of speed can be a complete game changer. The whole process breaks down into 3 dead simple steps. Because the testing strips are already built right into the cup, you just collect the sample directly in the device. This is great because it minimizes handling, which is key to preventing contamination or any errors. You just collect the sample, secure the lid, and let it sit. That's it. And reading the result is designed to be just as straightforward. It's simple. 2 lines means negative. If you only see 1 line, or no lines at all, that's considered a presumptive positive. The whole goal is to make the visual cues as clear as possible, so there's no room for mistakes. Now, this is an incredibly important point to remember. This is a screening test. It gives you a highly accurate preliminary result, but professional standards require that any presumptive positive result has to be sent to a certified lab for confirmation. That second step is absolutely crucial for legal and procedural accuracy. You can't skip it. So, keeping all of that in mind, who is this cup really made for? Let's look at the typical professional settings where you'd see it being used. This cup is really designed for any organization that relies on consistent drug screening. We're talking about HR departments doing pre-employment checks, occupational health clinics, staffing agencies that need that fast turnaround, and of course, rehabilitation centers and workplace safety programs. It's a super versatile tool for pretty much any structured testing environment. For organizations running these kinds of programs, volume is a huge factor. Sourcing and logistics suddenly become really critical. And that brings us to the topic of buying these cups in bulk. So one of the main suppliers for this kind of equipment is drugtestingcup.com. They actually specialize in providing these exact professional-grade tests for organizations that have those high-volume needs. You know, when you're sourcing any kind of equipment, the supplier's reliability is everything. For a testing program, that boils down to a few core things. Making sure the products are properly approved, having a reliable inventory so you don't have disruptions, and offering logistics that actually work for a business, like same-day shipping or free shipping for larger orders. And here's where we can see the economics of buying in bulk. It's pretty clear how the price per cup drops the more you buy. At 1,000 cups, you're already saving around 31% per unit. That jumps to nearly 38% for orders of 6,000 or more. For any organization that's managing a budget, these kinds of volume discounts can make a really significant impact. So that really brings us to our final thought. Looking at all the features, the simple process, and the logistics, the key question for any organization is this: is your current testing process really optimized for accuracy, efficiency, and cost? It's definitely something worth thinking about.